Ooh, welcome back to the Boneyard Podcast, everybody. This is your host, Jared Shafit, along with my two Buenos friends. Artie, you're like trilingual. Is that right? Buenos friends? Buenos amigos?
I don't know, Jay. You tell me, man. You tell me.
I don't know. Because you speak what? Spanish and French?
I speak a little bit of everything. Portuguese, Mandarin, a little bit of everything. I'm worldwide. I'm international.
Artie worldwide.
Don't ask me to give you an example, though.
Artie worldwide. And I'm here with Artie Worldwide and Chance Scott. Boys, it's been, 3 weeks since we've recorded?
Yeah.
When we recorded back-to-back episodes, got them both out. We took a week off, celebrated America's independence, and we're back. We're back like we never left. We're here with A+ content, and we're proud to be here. The Boneyard Podcast, the premier podcast of Pirate Nation, is a proud member of the Variety Sports Network and Variety Sports Collegiate. Guys, how we doing?
Great.
Good.
Artie?
Good.
Chance?
I mean,
Chance,
you know how it goes.
Chance, so did you just buy a house?
We're like it's kind of still waiting to do last inspections and all that. So we're right there at the end.
Is it in Kinston?
It's pretty much right where I am now. It's in like Eureka, Stantonsburg. It's like 20 minutes from Wilson. It's like the best way to explain it.
Gotcha. Okay. For some reason, I thought you were in Kinston. But that's me just not knowing where our intern lives.
Hey, that's big boy moves, though. Congratulations on the.
Yes.
That's
Thank
major.
You, man. Thank y'all.
Artie, we have an intern that is getting married and buying a house. What are you doing with your life? I'm kidding. You and Ashley are going to be there soon enough, and
better than good.
Thank y'all.
But yeah, one thing that I didn't realize, and maybe this is something we can do starting on the podcast again. Artie and I are back in the same city, the Trey Folk, Winston-Salem. Artie dropped that little bit of knowledge at my daughter's baptism, and I was like, I had no idea. So I guess we need to talk more, Artie. But yeah, things are good here. We took Scarlett to the beach. Hated it. She hated the water, as babies do. But all right, guys, let's get into it. Do y'all have a number 53?
Ooh, I didn't even look up a number this week. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do not have a 53.
Yep.
Neither of y'all have one?
I found them earlier.
Just
went through. Yeah, I found one earlier.
I got one. Chance, I'm going to let you go first because mine's a little more off the wall this week.
Okay, yeah. Mine is a linebacker from Green Bay Packers named Fred Carr. Played, let's see how many years. Computer's going slow. He played multiple years. He was an all-time linebacker for the Packers. You know, great for the North. Don't know much about him. I mean,
did we lose Chance? We lost Chance.
Oh, we lost Chance. Oh, no.
Frederick Carr, Green Bay Packers. We lost Chance. Okay, well, we're down 2 interns now.
And it looks like the old days are here. It's the original 2.
Yeah, the OGs of the Boneyard Podcast. But Chance was talking about Frederick Carr. I'm gonna go ahead and welcome back, Chance. I'm gonna go ahead and give mine to move things along.
Ooh.
All right, Chance. Would you like to finish?
You got the show, man. I don't know this guy for nothing.
Okay,
do you know this guy?
No.
Yeah.
I don't keep up with the Packers.
Me neither.
Artie's like, cut that shit out.
You know this guy don't keep up with him.
Mine is a big time star in 1968. All right. Have y'all ever heard of Herbie the Love Bug?
Yeah.
Herbie the Love Bug, movie that came out in 1968. It's a sports drama about racing. It's
That
a
is
punch
an
bug,
old movie right there.
a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
Herbie the Love Bug was the number 53 Volkswagen Beetle. So yeah, I mean that's my 53. It's a little bit off the wall, but
I'm gonna give you props though, Jared. That was actually really good. That was an original. Like I would have never thought of that. That was good right there.
I mean I've got 2 out of the last 3 that are pretty like
1968.
Yeah.
Year my mama was born too. So shout out 68.
Good looks on you for knowing when your mom was born. I have no idea when my parents were born.
You don't know the year?
No,
You should
sometime in
at
the
least know
70s.
year. The year is easy. I get the actual date, but
My mom, I believe, was 1974 because she was 20 years old when I was born, but turned 21 shortly after, like 3 weeks after I was born.
okay.
So, and then I think my dad, 1971, if I had to guess. He listens to the podcast. Believe it or not, like
You said your mom was 20 when you were born.
20 when I was born.
So if you were born, so if she was born in 74, that means you would have been born in 94. You're not a 94 baby.
Yeah, but she turned 21 when I was 3 weeks old.
Okay, I got you. That's what you're saying.
So that's how numbers work, Artie.
Hey, look, I'm just like, hold on, 20 and 20, 74 to 94. You are younger than me. I'm older, so let's try to put that together real quick.
All right, Chance is back once again.
My God.
Third time's a charm.
Hey, look, Chance is playing.
Got it this time. Yeah.
Oh man, sorry, that hat hurts my head. Guys, we're recording this thing at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But I think this might be a new thing for us, recording late at night. I got a baby, already works late. Might just be a thing for us. But guys, let's get into it. Let's see here. ECU baseball, the post draft. 2 guys taken in the draft: Josh Gross and Tyler Bratt. Gross was taken in the 11th round by the Yankees. Bratt was taken in the 16th round to the Cards. 2 teams that love to pick up Pirates. Chance, your thoughts?
I was not shocked at all by Groves going. I expected him to go a little bit earlier, but I think people seeing his kind of up and downs, and I think that kind of had a thing to do with it. But Tyler Bratt was an absolute surprise to me. Dude has some nasty stuff, but just didn't have a lot of innings at ECU. I think he's going to do well in the minors. It's going to help him get a lot more constant innings and constant work. I think it's going to be good for him. And I think the biggest shock of all was that Big Crank didn't even get drafted. But
the podcast,
he got to sign. Yeah. He got to sign his deal, so I think that was pretty good for him. He got to kind of pick where he wanted to go. I heard he signed for pretty good money, so I mean, I think it was a good draft for all of our guys. Yeah,
I mean, I was kind of surprised that Josh Moylan didn't go. I thought he would at least be picked up in the 15th, 16th, 17th round. I thought somebody would at least take a flyer on him, but oh well. The Yankees picked him up and signed him as an undrafted free agent, and I mean he's gonna eat that short porch up. I mean, just gonna eat it up. That is if he stays a Yankee. I mean, that bat will play for sure. So, but really the one of the bigger things, I mean, it sucks to lose Moylan, but you're bringing in Bristol Carter, who turned down multiple offers, and he's already on campus. First place he went was Cliff Godwin's office. You love that. Guy. Yeah, I mean the guy wants to be a Pirate, and we lost Chance again. So,
I mean, I'll speak to the Bristol Carter thing. I mean, that's what happens when you have a legitimate program, though. When you can turn down big time offers like that because you're going to a big time program in ECU. That speaks a lot. That's the ECU baseball program is honestly like that's what every other program is trying to model itself after, to where you can get guys that will turn down some top notch offers to come to your program, a program that is in Greenville, North Carolina. But because the program is so good, because the coaching staff is so good, because the coach it's himself is so good, and the reputation precedes itself. Shout out to him. So,
yeah, for sure. Shout out to him. Artie, I mean, he's from Oak Ridge, Northwest Guilford star. So,
did he go to Northwest Guilford? I did not know that. I did not know he was Northwest Guilford.
Yeah, Northwest Guilford. I mean, middle infielder, played outfield.
Our baseball program was good, but great. It might be different now, but it was never terrible. It was never bad. It was always a good program. So
he's the number 3 outfield, the number 3 outfielder in the state of North Carolina, and number 20 outfielder in the country. 104th overall athlete or outfielder, I believe. No, 104th overall in the country.
Just like your alma mater, your high school, we some country fair boys. We know how to produce some athletes. So,
yeah, I mean, my high school, I mean, had some guys make it to the show, and all in all, I mean, that's a big time get for the Pirates. Let's see if we can get Chance back in. Chance, if it happens again,
went to the hot spot.
We
went to the hot spot. I changed it. Okay, I changed it all the way up, going to the hot spot.
There you go. Chance, you want to talk about some of the transfers out of ECU?
Oh yeah, Jordan Little was a guy I definitely expected to leave. Highly talented, got some real good stuff. Fastball's electric. He looked really good in the fall, with the purple and gold. But he just couldn't really find his way with his really deep bullpen, and we're running it back again next year with a deep bullpen. So I think he's doing good, going to a school that's still in the rebuilding process at Virginia Tech. And Miles Curley, I think he got hurt, medical red shirt. So, I mean, guys going down JUCO, same place Landon was at.
Awesome. Yeah. And not to be confused with Central Florida, piss a bunch of Golden Knight fans off. Yeah. People didn't believe me when I said Central Florida hates that, and Chance is gone again. Man, Chance is struggling. This is unprecedented. All right, Artie, let's just roll through it.
Let's roll. Let's roll. Chance to join us back. He'll be back. I told you.
So
playing peekaboo.
We're talking a little bit about all the revenue sports tonight. We're going to talk some basketball. ECU will host USC Upstate in Greenville. They went 16-16 last year. Also, I believe we will be hosting what did we say? George Mason out of the A10. Artie, your thoughts on those two schedule announcements? I believe Campbell may have also been announced. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you try to schedule these non-conference or out-of-conference meetings to try and gauge where your team is at. Obviously, ECU, when it comes to basketball, it's a crapshoot. We play teams we're supposed to beat and lose. We play teams that we're supposed to lose to and either put up a good fight or maybe even win. So ECU basketball is a crapshoot. But hopefully it is something that results in W's. Those lineups and those matchups for us. I do see I do want to shout out Reggie Williams. Looks like he was promoted to assistant coach for men's basketball. I saw that earlier today, so I want to shout out him. Don't know too much about his background, but saw that earlier today, so I want to give a shout out to Reggie Williams. But
Reggie Williams, NBA player, right? Yeah.
Was he an NBA player?
Didn't he play for the Golden State Warriors?
I would not know.
Pretty sure, yeah.
To be honest.
Pretty sure Reggie Williams played for Golden State.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. Went to VMI.
Yeah, he had a 11-year basketball career. Golden State Warriors, Charlotte Hornets, Oklahoma City Thunder, San Antonio Spurs, and New Orleans Pelicans. So he was basically an NBA lifer. I mean, 11-year career. That's a pretty damn good career. I mean, even if you're not a starter, if you can make it 11 years in the National Basketball Association, you're pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, 2-time NBA D-League All-Star, All-NBA D-League First Team in 2010. 2-time NCAA season scoring leader. That's big. I had no idea about that. NCAA season scoring leader in basketball, Reggie Williams. Pretty
That's
big.
who we got on the roster as an assistant coach for us. So shout out to Reggie Williams. Should be an absolute stud of an addition for us to, come in and give those kids some knowledge, give them some game, some free game on how to improve their basketball, not just skill but IQ. So shout out to that. But as far as the non-conference matchups, it is what it is. We'll see. We don't really know what ECU basketball is going to be right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll be fine. You got some pretty decent transfers. You got the guy from Kansas, and then you're also waiting to hear about Cam Hayes, transfer from LSU, waiting on his waiver to go through. ECU notoriously has not had very good luck with the NCAA transfer and waiver deal. I mean, seems like every time there's a waiver that ECU needs, they get screwed. It just seems that way every single time. I don't know why. Probably because the NCAA hates us. But that's just, I guess, part of it. I'm trying to remember there was a time guy that we needed a waiver for, and then they wouldn't give it to him. The name escapes me, but I definitely remember back in like the 2014, 2015 era of ECU basketball. But yeah, I mean, ECU, I like the team. RJ Felton going to be back. Got some dudes coming back. So excited about this basketball team. And Mike Schwartz and staff he's got a good staff. I mean, we talk about Reggie Williams. He's got a good staff. I'm liking what he's doing here at East Carolina. I think there's a lot to be excited about for this basketball team. Hey, are they gonna make the big dance this year? Probably not.
No. Let's call a spade a spade. They're not going to the dance. We just need to see progress.
Nobody
need to see progress.
But nobody saw FAU going to the Final Four last year at this time.
That's true. That is true. I'll give you that. Or San Diego State. So.
Or what was that state? What was that team that beat? What was it? Iowa. Who beat Iowa? The 16 seed. FDU. I saw that they came out with a new logo this week.
Fairleigh or Farley Dickinson, whatever. But I know it was something Dickinson. I know you're talking about
Dickinson. Yeah, I mean, hey, if they can do it, why not us?
All you gotta do is get to the dance. You're right. All you gotta do is get to the dance. Anything can happen. But if we not get to the dance, we're not there yet.
Just gotta find a glass slipper.
We're not there. We're not a women's basketball program just yet. We're not there yet.
Do you see their bling? Do you see those rings? Those things are fire.
I did not see the rings. Are they like that? I got look this up.
Those rings are really nice. And that team's gonna be good this year. A lot of returning talent there.
Yeah.
So lots to be excited about on the hardwood coming for this winter. But people aren't here to listen to us talk about ECU basketball in the 2022 or I guess 2023-24 season. People are gearing up. I think we got some like 50 something days until ECU football hits the grass and takes on Michigan in the big house.
Oh, I can't wait.
Trying to repeat, having another good season, becoming bowl eligible for the third straight year. I think it's going to happen. But let's talk some ball, Artie. We've lost Chance for the night. I think he's in the background listening. He said he doesn't want to deal with the internet.
That's all right.
What about this staff and their recruiting over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Phenomenal. They've been absolutely crushing it.
It's like we recorded, and then all of a sudden, all these guys started committing. I mean, there were so many guys that we didn't even take note of all of them in here. But in 3 days, ECU picked up 9 commitments. Big weekend in recruiting. I mean, absolutely huge. Kevon Merrill, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 3-star linebacker from Georgia. Sharquez Lee, another 3-star linebacker, this one from Florida. I mean, Artie. ECU got some ballers, and they got a lot of guys that, from what I'm hearing in the coaching staff, they're very excited about the guys that are coming in this class. Your thoughts?
I mean, this coaching staff, they understand the assignment, right? I mean, to have the kind of roster turnover that we had after this last season, you got to stay hungry. You got to stay poised. You got to go attack that transfer portal. You got to go attack it in recruiting. They understand, they understand the assignment. Like, if I could give them, if I could say anything about this coaching staff, they understand the assignment. They know they have to stay on their toes. They know they have to get after it. They know they have to retool and recalibrate and do what they got to do. And I feel like they've done that this offseason. Because, again, this coaching staff knows, Coach Houston and the coaching staff, they know that, okay, we absolutely have to stay consistent. We just coming off a bowl win, a 7-win, so really an 8-win season last year. You can't regress at this point. You got to keep it up. You got to keep going. You got to stay consistent, because a regress is going to lead to people getting fired. It's going to lead to turnover. It's going to lead to not good things for the program. So I'm just happy to see what they're doing as far as going out and recruiting, going out and attacking the transfer portal, going out and getting a lot of these guys that are 3- and 4-star guys and coming in from your Georgias, from your Floridas, these states that just produce just absolute monsters when it comes to football. So I'm just happy to see it, to be honest with you. It's a good thing to see. And it lets me know that not only do they care about the program, but they bleed success and they want to win. And they want to win right now. They're not trying to – it's not about building anymore. It's about building off success. Like, we were successful last year to a degree, and now we're trying to build off that and continue it and sustain it. So just happy to see what's going on.
Yeah, and I think the one thing – so, Artie, I was fortunate enough to hang out with a friend of the podcast, a longtime friend of the podcast. I think he was on episode 8 or 9. I got my notebook here.
Yeah, one of the OGs of the Boneyard Podcast.
What episode was he on? Man.
I mean, we interviewed Coach Harrell when I was in my old apartment when I was staying with Haley. So that was a long time ago.
I mean, that's when we were still doing this thing in person.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was damn near pre-COVID, wasn't it?
No, I mean, we started this thing during COVID.
Well, no, we started during COVID. Yeah.
April 26th, 2020.
Jesus.
I mean, I think this was one of the first times where –
3 years ago. That was over 3 years ago.
And we've stayed in contact with him ever since. Coach Harrell, I was in Emerald Isle. He has a place down in Beaufort, and I just mentioned to him, "Hey, I'm here. I'm going out to eat tonight with my family in Beaufort. Let's grab a drink." He agreed, and so we hung out for a little bit. And one thing that he said that really stood out to me, and I don't want to talk too much about it wasn't even an interview. It was just two guys hanging out. Granted, my wife was there, so she was getting bored by all the football talk that was happening, even after I promised her I wasn't going to talk any football. Jesus,
I was about to say somebody is blowing you up, brother.
My laptop is finally, like, I guess, catching up to everything. My laptop, since the last time we recorded, and so all my text messages from the last 2 weeks are coming in. ECU is the number 4 recruiting class on 24/7 Sports right now, with 16 commits.
In the
conference being 3 stars. So, but one of the things that stood out to me when talking to Coach Harrell, and it sounds like it's true for the entire coaching staff. This coaching staff has been together a very long time, from when Mike Houston was at the Citadel, when they went to James Madison. I mean, Coach Harrell and I talked about when they were tied with Alabama 10-10 going into halftime in Alabama at the Citadel. We had that conversation, but one thing he told me was all of these guys have made Greenville their home. And I know that a coach is going to say that, right?
Right.
But
right.
And anything can happen. But he was like, we don't want to move. We're tired of moving. So he loves Greenville, and it sounds like the whole coaching staff feels that way. Now, granted, if Coach Houston goes 10-2 and gets a big Power 5 offer, when, I don't know, Mac Brown finally decides to give it up again, would not surprise me. But yeah, I mean, they're going to keep doing their thing, and this is probably one of the best. This is probably one of the best recruiting staffs that ECU has had in a long time. Like, we thought Scotty Montgomery was a decent recruiter, but this coaching staff knows how to recruit, and they're doing a lot of good things, and I'm excited. I'm excited for them. So, yeah, I mean, lots of good things happening on the recruiting side of football. But Artie, let's talk about this offensive line. Is it wrong of me to be optimistic about this offensive line? I feel like every year we've said, "Oh no, like the offensive line's going to suck," but it finally feels like there's some seniority on this offensive line. There's guys that have been here for a year or 2, 3 years on the offensive line that know the scheme, they know the game plan, and they know how to execute it. Is it wrong of me to be optimistic about this offensive line?
I wouldn't say it's wrong of you at all, to be honest with you. I think I agree with you completely, 100%. That in years past we would have said, okay, the old line is that's the one area where we're going to get shot in the ass, right? Like that's not our strong point. But like you said, we got some guys that are coming back. We have some veteran guys. We have some good guys in the locker room that look like they can be real leaders as far as the O-line. And I do feel like this is going to be one of our best units going forward into this year. Also, I'll also notice like the starting quarterback in Mason Garcia, he's a more mobile quarterback than Holton Ahlers was. Even though Holton could get out and do his thing and run, but I don't think there's going to be as much pressure on this O-line to do what they needed to do for Holton. Because Mason, if Mason is given the keys and Mason is allowed to do what he needs to do, obviously it's going to be, in my opinion, it should be a simple offense for him. It should be a 1, a 2, and then, okay, go out and be Mason Garcia, right? Like if you don't see what's open in the first 2 to 3 seconds, go out and do what made you great and what made you the highest recruit ever in ECU history, right? So I don't feel like there's going to be as much pressure on this O-line to hold and block and defend as long as they probably had to do for Holton, because Holton was more of a pocket quarterback, more of a pocket passer. Now, granted, Holton was probably more accurate than Mason, but I do feel like that combination of having a dual threat quarterback in Mason Garcia who can get it done with his legs as well as his arm is going to benefit this O-line. And they are more skilled. They're more seasoned. They're older. They're not as bad as the O-lines we've had in years past. I do think that could be a deadly combination, to be honest with you. So I would absolutely agree with you that I'm optimistic about how this O-line is going to perform coming up this year.
Yeah, and I mean we'll talk more about the tight end room next week, but I mean you've got Shane Calhoun, who's a big body. Tyler Savage, who both those guys can block, and you've got honestly 2 running backs that are pretty good at blocking as well. I mean Marlon Gunn and Raji Harris are pretty good at blocking. So, I mean, Mason's going to have time. And I think with that time, you got some speed in the wide receiver room. Yeah, you had some turnover. Like, yes, you're losing a 5-year starter at quarterback. Yes, you're losing a guy that was the fastest man in college football. You're losing those pieces. But there's a lot to be excited about on the offensive side of the ball. I think the offensive line is going to – I think they're going to set the tone. Those guys are the big nasties. I love being on the field standing next to them because they just tower over me. And I'm
fucking trees. They are ginormous.
I'm 6'1", 6'2", and these guys are like, I'm looking up to them. And I mean, not to mention they're 325 and it's all muscle. I mean, they could throw me around like a rag doll. So really excited. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I was just going to say this might be a hot take, but I will say for the first time in a long time, I think the unit that has the most to prove on the offensive side of the ball coming up this year is the wide receiver room. I think that's going to be the unit that has the most to prove, which hasn't been the case in a long time. But I think that's the unit we're going to see what these receivers are about because we lost a lot of good receivers. We're going to see what that receiver room is looking like this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to prove there, but I think the team that is, or the room that's being most overlooked, and we're going to talk about all of this over the next couple of weeks.
What?
Like, in my opinion, the team that's being most overlooked, or the room, is that running back room. I think that, I mean, Marlon Gunn.
I was just saying most to prove. I agree with the running back room is getting overlooked because I think they'll be better than the wide receiver room.
I think that a lot of people, the running back room is going to show a lot of people that, hey, we had a 3-headed monster, not just a 2-headed monster last year. Right. And when Rajay went down with the ACL injury, Marlon Gunn came in, filled that role. When Keith Mitchell was injured, Marlon Gunn carried the weight. And I don't know if Marlon Gunn ever got a touchdown. I think every week we said, oh, he's going to get a touchdown this week. I don't know if he ever got one last year, but he's going to get several this year. But I don't want to talk too much about the running backs or any of the wide receivers just yet. We got a couple weeks. We're going to talk more about it over the next couple weeks for sure. But the next opponent, so we're once again, we're going in reverse order. The next opponent, Artie, it's a big one. Tulane. Tulane. Preseason number 19 in the country. Look, I don't understand how a team who has a lot of returning talent all over the place and quite honestly was probably a top 6 or 7 team. I can't remember what they finished last year. Top 6 or 7 team in the country. I don't know how you drop them all the way to number 19. I mean, I know how. They're in the American. That's what they're going to say. Right. But I don't know how you drop a team that, I mean, has that much talent on the ball, has that much experience, that's coming back, that, I mean, beat the Heisman Trophy winner. Like, I don't know how you say that they are the 19th best team in the country when they proved it last year.
What my thing is, I mean, where were they going to be? Top 10? They weren't going to be top 10. They were going to be top 15. I think 19 is fair. I think 19 is fair for Tulane. They're in the top 20. If they have another magical run in them, they're going to move up. They're obviously going to get up there. They're going to create. I mean, starting at 19 at the beginning of the year, you haven't done nothing. It's not that bad. So if Tulane runs off a magical season, they're going to finish in the top 10. They're going to finish maybe with a New Year's Six, if not something better. So I think 19 is fair because nobody, when you're looking at it, yes, obviously people expected USC to beat Tulane. A lot of people and a lot of your writers and a lot of people that do these lists that we all think is bullshit, they believe it was a fluke. They don't think Tulane should have beat USC. They think beating USC was a fluke. They think Caleb Williams and USC and Lincoln Riley is a much better team, and Tulane was just a better team that day. So, and that's exactly how they feel. I'm just being honest with you. That's how they feel. But this is a phenomenal football team. You got Pratt coming back. You have a lot of returning stars coming back. This should be your favorite to win the American. Clear favorite to win the American. Not saying that they can't be beat, but they absolutely should be the favorite to win the American Conference this year. And I root for Tulane. Honestly, I kind of do. Outside of playing us, like I really do hope Tulane succeeds. That's a team that I root for, you know. So, but I think 19 is fair. I don't think 19 is something that's like unfair preseason ranking for Tulane.
Okay. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, if it's we see it year in and year out, a team that doesn't that has to prove a lot.
But where do you want them? Like, where do you want them to sit? If not 19, where do you think Tulane should be?
I want them in the top 15. I want them in the top 15.
Okay.
I mean,
not saying they don't deserve that, but 19 really isn't that bad either.
I mean, it's not bad. If ECU was in the top, it was 19, I'd love it.
19 at 0-0 before you've done anything. That's not bad.
But let's run through this Tulane football schedule. They start off at home. Got South Alabama, and then the next week they host again. I don't know if again is the right. I don't think they played them last year. I know they've played them quite a bit. But
right.
They're gonna the next week they're at home. They got the number 22 team in the country coming in, Ole Miss. I mean, you got the number 22 team in the country coming in week 2. I mean, that's a top 25 matchup early in the season. And that's going to be a good one. Then they got to go on the road at Southern Miss. I mean, Tulane lost to Southern Miss the week after beating Kansas State. I was in my one of my annual Twitter arguments earlier today with some fan of a Sun Belt team. I don't know which one. I don't really care. Who was like, "Oh, well, Southern Miss, our number 3 team beat your conference champion." And I was like, yeah, ECU also the number 7 team in the American last year beat your runner up. Like, who cares? I mean, they were looking past Southern Miss because nobody gives a damn about playing Southern Miss. Look, Southern Miss is going to be a good football team this year. I think that they may push for a conference title. Tulane, I'm going to say Tulane goes in there and beats them. Tulane's going to go in and beat Southern Miss at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. The volleyball stadium that Brett built.
Not the volleyball stadium. Oh my goodness.
The real ones know.
Oh, never mind.
And then they host Nichols. I guess I was gonna say Nichols State, but I guess it's just Nichols.
Say Nipple State? What'd you say?
It's too late for that, Artie. This is Boneyard Podcast After Dark. No, I mean, they host Nichols. I think at worst through 4 games, Tulane's 3-1.
I would absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I mean, and if I can be completely honest, looking at their schedule, it's a very favorable schedule.
Yeah.
It's
Until
a very favorable schedule.
I mean, they have a chance to run the table. Chance and I were talking before the podcast started. We were talking about Tulane, and I think he said that he could see them potentially going undefeated. I'm not sure about that, but the way it sets up, they play a bunch of good teams, but the good thing is they get them all at home. They get them all at home. I mean, outside of Southern Miss, you get them all at home. Ole Miss and UTSA both at home. Very, very favorable setup for the Green Wave.
And the Ole Miss game, I mean, that's their second game of the season. When I'm looking at it here, so it's like if they get past Ole Miss, I don't really think. I mean, they beat Mississippi. Yeah, they might have a little bit of a hangover, but going to the Southern Miss game the next week, I think they take care of business against Southern Miss. UAB might be a little bit of a somewhat of a game. Tulane should handle that. Tulane and Memphis. I think Memphis is going to get Tulane one of the better games that they have all year, but Tulane should win that game. North Texas Rice wins. Then you got us. Then you got Tulsa win. Florida Atlantic should be a win. And UTSA. So I mean, after Ole Miss, I would say us and UTSA is the toughest opponents. Yeah, they can absolutely run the table. I think a 10-2 season is kind of a disappointment for Tulane.
So 11-1.
I see 11-1. I think they drop one. I don't know who that one's going to be because I'm not going to say it's going to be Ole Miss, but I think they go 11-1.
Could they go 13? If they go, let me ask you. Tulane goes 13-0. 12-0 through the regular season after what they go last year, 10-2, or was it? They went 10-2.
Yeah.
I
think they did go 10-2, and they went to the American, won the American, and went to So I think they actually finished like 12-2 overall.
Let's see. Last year, computer's loading. They went 12-2 with a loss to UCF and a loss to Southern Miss. Here we go again with a bunch more text. I mean, beat us 24-9. That was an embarrassing game. That was the day we brought home Ficklin. Fun fact. But I mean, the two games that they lost, 27-24 and 38-31. I mean, they beat
very
Cincinnati,
close to going 14-0.
Beat Cincinnati 27-24. Blew out SMU last year, 59-24. Beat Tulsa last year, 27-13. Memphis was tight. I mean, Memphis was 38-28.
Yeah, Memphis is going to give them a game. That's going to be a game.
Houston beat them in overtime last year. Like I said, beat Kansas State. I mean, a team that ended up winning. Did they end up winning the?
They won the Big 12.
Did they win the Big 12 or no? Did TCU?
Then they got embarrassed against Alabama in the Cotton Bowl or Sugar Bowl, one of those. Yeah, they won the Big 12 though.
At some point beat TCU, who. Yeah, they beat TCU in the Big 12 championship game, 31-28. That was a hell of a game. And then got blown out by Alabama, in the Sugar Bowl. I mean, Tulane's a good team. I'm excited about them, and I think one of my hottest takes is I think ECU beats 2 out of the 3 of SMU, UTSA, or Tulane. That's going to be my hot take of the year. They're going to win 2 of those 3 games.
Okay.
You got Tulane at home. I believe SMU is also at home. I think that's going to be my hot take this year.
Okay.
My hot take last year was that ECU was going to win 10 games. It didn't happen. Very close to happening, to be honest with you. With the way scores worked out.
You close?
With the way that the scores worked out, it was close to happening. ECU was in a lot of close games last year. I think ECU wins 2 out of those 3 games against SMU,
Okay.
Tulane, and UTSA. And then I'm gonna be honest with you, Artie. I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to give anything away for what I'm thinking later on in a couple of weeks when we talk about some other teams.
Okay.
But I've got some other thoughts and some other hot takes that may get me in some hot water on social media. But honestly, who gives a fuck? But Tulane's win total this season is set at 9.5. I'm taking that over. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the over on that. I think they absolutely get 10 wins. I'm gonna say 11-1 with that schedule. That's a very favorable schedule. I say 11-1. I know they lost Spears. Spears is a huge blow. I mean, that's one of the best running backs in the country last year. Top 3, top 5 running back, whatever you want to say. And that's a huge blow. But yeah, I think with that schedule, anything less than 10 wins is kind of a disappointment for them.
Yeah, I mean, you got Michael Pratt back, who is probably a top 10 quarterback in the country right now, in my opinion. And a lot of analysts agree with that. And what's are the returning quarterbacks? Jaquan Jackson, I mean, had 33 receptions for 554 yards and 3 touchdowns last year. Then you got who else? Lawrence Keys coming back, center Sincere Haynesworth, and then defensive back Jarius Monroe. All these guys, I mean, they played a huge part in Tulane's Cinderella season last year. And look, this is last year, the type of season that they had last year propels teams and propels schools and programs to repeat that. And once you have one, you start it's kind of like a snowball. And you start having more and more, and then you become a UCF, a Cincinnati, a Houston, right? Look, I thought last year was going to be ECU's year. But why not this year? But I still believe, and watch me be wrong and ECU go 0-3 in those games. Very well could happen. But ECU is going to beat 2 out of the 3. I'm not saying they're going to beat Tulane. I'm not going to say which ones I think. I just think
it's 2 out of 3.
2 out of the 3. That's all.
Okay.
Hey, if I'm hedging it by saying that, I don't know which ones they're going to win, but they're going to win 2 out of 3. Okay. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think the SMU one is the most favorable matchup for us. And then, to me, if we had UTSA at home, that would be so much better. But going to the Alamo Dome, and with the recent success that San Antonio has had, I really feel like that's going to be such a different atmosphere. We've been to big atmospheres before. We're going to the big house before we go to UTSA. But that I don't know. It just feels like that's a trap game for ECU. That it feels like I don't feel good about the UTSA game. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't feel good about that. That just doesn't feel like a favorable matchup for us going into San Antonio. But I think SMU is a win. I'll go ahead and say that. And then Tulane at home, it really just depends on what Tulane's at. Now, Tulane's rolling. They top 15. They undefeated or with 1 loss at that time. I don't know. It kind of just depends on where both programs are at that point in the season because that's a later game. But the UTSA matchup, honestly, is the one that scares me the most out of those 3.
The UTSA one.
Yeah.
And it's because it's on the road?
It's on the road. Yeah, I mean, Tulane's going to be the better team, but I kind of know what to expect from Tulane this year. The UTSA one, that's –
Artie, over a 4-week stretch, ECU plays SMU, Charlotte, UTSA, and Tulane. Next week, we're going to
preview. Charlotte. It's a gauntlet.
Next week, we're going to talk about UTSA. Let me ask you. If ECU going into SMU is 4-1, how big of a game is that going to be? ECU SMU on a Thursday night under the lights in Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium.
Ginormous.
ECU SMU.
If ECU's 4-1, I expect SMU to be around the same.
I mean, geez.
That should be one of the bigger games in recent memory in Dowdy under the lights. That should be, and it's a Thursday night game. You're by yourself. You're literally by yourself. Yeah. You're competing with one Thursday night football game in NFL, but outside of that, you're by yourself. You own the networks. So, yeah, that game should be huge if it shapes up that way. And I hope it does. I really do. I hope it does. And I don't know. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're gonna talk about all this later.
We're gonna talk about it all. Just imagine. I'm pulling up real quick. What's the Thursday night game that week?
For the NFL?
That's a tough matchup.
Who is it?
I mean, maybe it's not so bad. It's Broncos Chiefs.
Oh, damn. yeah. I mean, we're not beating Broncos Chiefs. We're not beating Broncos. Not even close. But look, your diehard college football fans are going to tune into that game. And
for sure,
if Broncos Chiefs is a blowout, which it could be a blowout by the third quarter, because Broncos sucked last year, you could be getting all the viewership over to us. So who knows? Who knows? But Broncos Chiefs, yeah, that's a hell of a matchup right there. That's Wilson versus Mahomes. Yeah, that's a good matchup.
Also, I got too excited to talk about Tulane. Forgot to mention when we were going over our O-line, some notable transfers on the offensive line. Dustin Hall out of USF followed the offensive line coach here to East Carolina. Owen Murphy out of Akron took big reps. I believe I think he's a senior transfer. I don't have it right in front of me. Let's see. Owen Murphy is senior transfer, redshirt senior out of Akron. Another big Akron transfer on the offensive line, Ryan Beckman. Looks like he's going to be on the second string, but a lot to be excited about, once again, about the offensive line. But Artie, let's move along. Anything else on Tulane? Anything else on the offensive line?
Think we spoke enough. We'll go get back into it later.
All right. Let's go to questions.
Let's do it.
Let's do NC Pirates first. He's got a couple questions for us.
All right.
Was the lack of drafted players, free agent signing, an indication of the talent on this year's team? I'm going to assume that he's talking about baseball, considering the baseball draft just finished. I don't know if it is an indication of the lack of talent or of the talent on this past year's team. I'm not going to say that. I think it may be a product of an underwhelming season for ECU. I mean, it just never did this season feel like it was honestly really our year.
Yeah.
It just never felt that way. So, yeah, I'm not going to say it's an indication of the talent. I just think that it was an indication of nobody was really a breakout star. I mean, you didn't really have a Bryson Worrell or a Gavin Williams or I mean, the list goes on and on. Alec Burleson this year, Connor Norby. You didn't have that. You didn't really have that guy that stood out to you. Yeah, and then yes, what does AMAC do? To be honest, I don't know. I really don't. Because I think AMAC chance AMAC he's what, a junior? Chance, I'm just gonna bring you back in. I want your answer because you said your fuck no is your answer. Okay, Chance is back out. God damn it. The title of this podcast, Not a Chance.
Yes, that's it. No, it can't be another. It can't be another title. It's got to be that.
Not a chance. Galaxy brain.
Love it.
All right, Chance. Are you back? You don't have to turn your camera on. Just talk.
No, I'm telling you, it keeps freezing, and I can hear you, and I try to type, and then it's stuck. So I had to click out and come back in before I kicked out again.
All right. What does AMAC do? And then give your answers to NC Pirate.
AMAC's back.
AMAC's back. I think so too.
I mean, he's not, unless he transfers out, unless Dixon Williams is getting his job, which I don't think. AMAC's coming back. Too much talent. The Gold Glove he's just a vacuum at third base. Switch hitting whenever he's healthy. You got to remember he went through that surgery preseason, so that's got to be a big mental and physical aspect of his game this year. Was just off. And to the draft question, no, that does not talk about our talent level. We didn't really have that many draft eligible guys that really even felt like they were going to be drafted outside of Josh Moreland and Josh Groves. I mean, Will Coxon was there, but he doesn't fit the pro style of baseball yet. He needs another year of full-time catching. And Landon Ginn was another one that was questionable. He's got to work on a lot more off-speed pitches. He's got fastball, changeup, and then I think a curveball slider deal. Just not enough to be drafted yet. So that nothing to do with talent.
There you have it. And then the next question he asks, are we going to organize a pirate invasion in Ann Arbor? And by we, the Boneyard Podcast. Artie's going to be there. Now, Artie.
What's up?
I'm going to give you a chance. And speaking of chance, he's gone. Not a chance. Not a chance. Artie, will you be wearing purple and gold or maize and blue? Or maize and really?
More both. Yeah. And it might be a game time decision. Like I might go with my alma mater or I might go with maize and blue. I don't really know yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. But what I can tell you is that I don't care about the outcome. This is one football game where I don't give a damn about who wins. I don't care. I'm happy either way. If ECU wins, it's one of the greatest upsets of all time. That's my alma mater. That's who I paid money to go to school to. I'm happy. If Michigan wins, we're on the track back to a national championship, hopefully, to another playoff. So I'm going as a fan. Now, can we all congregate as Pirates in Ann Arbor? Absolutely. I'll be there. Hit your boy up. Let's all congregate. Let's get together. Let's tailgate. Let's do the damn thing.
I am.
Don't ask me who will win. I don't care.
I'm not sure whether I will be there in attendance or not. Granted, I mean, I will have a 4-month-old baby at that time. My daughter will be turning 4 that weekend. That day, 4 months old that day. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll be there. But what I will say is there's a chance. I mean, there's a chance. There's always a chance I might be there. And if I am, let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Let's do the damn thing.
Let's do it.
Blow it up. Hell, maybe Artie and I will do. If he's wearing maize and blue, We're not doing it. Maybe we'll do a live podcast. We've talked about doing a live podcast for a long time.
Here's
maybe we take over Graders in downtown Ann Arbor.
Yes.
And do a live Boneyard podcast.
Yes.
Graders has good ice cream, I hear. So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually thinking about not even wearing nobody's colors. I'm actually just thinking about like just wearing black, some shit like that, and just showed up to the game because I'm conflicted. This is my very first Michigan game that I've ever gone to. I've been a Michigan fan since I was 4 years old. All right, you're talking 24 years of fandom here. But my alma mater is ECU. I love purple and gold. That's what I bleed. So I really am thinking about just showing up just in some black. And it's like, I'm just here. I'm just at the game. I'm not wearing nobody's colors.
Artie's going to show up to the game looking like Rob Lowe wearing the NFL hat. Oh, man.
Who knows? It's game time decision.
Hit up Artie on Twitter and tell him he better wear purple and gold or he's a pussy.
Hey, that's fair. Right. That's fair.
All right. Next question. This might take a second. What is our dream 10-school conference for East Carolina? And it has to be like reasonable.
It has to be reasonable. I actually wrote this down before the show. So I actually wrote mine down. So I do have a list here.
I'm gonna go off the dome. I can do it off the dome.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to? How do you want to do this? You want to just go back and forth with it? I'll take one. You take one, and we can have the same ones. It doesn't matter.
That's fine. We can roll.
If we agree, just say I agree, and at the end we will we'll read off our top 10 conference. And ECU is one of those 10, so we need 9 teams, right?
Right, exactly.
All right, let me make sure I'm taking notes of this. All right, 10-team conference. Number 1, NC State.
I didn't have that on my list, but that was one of what I was considering.
I mean, NC State. I think you have the rivalry then. You have the game.
Mm-hmm.
They can't duck us. NC State. Artie?
Only reason why I didn't go NC State because I was trying to just do reasonable, like realistic things. And I know NC State will never be in a conference with us. They'll never do it. They won't do it. I know that. But
I mean, until Carolina joins the Big Ten or SEC, then no. But when that eventually happens, which it will happen,
yeah,
I think eventually, then we can talk.
I'm gonna go
App. Okay.
Absolutely.
I also have App, so I guess that'll be my number 2 team.
Okay.
So I'll give another team. Coastal Carolina.
Yep. That was my third.
What's your second?
Second would be Tulane.
Okay, I like it. I didn't have them in mind, mainly because I'm thinking more regional, but also like good matchups.
Oh, mine's kind of it's because to me regions are dead, so I'm going nationally. I'm just
but this is my dream conference, Artie. Don't shatter my dreams.
Realistic too. It can't just be dream. If I were to give you my dream conference, it's not gonna be realistic.
Well, yeah, I'm being realistic. Like I don't think it's that far fetched. If Clemson and Chapel Hill and someone like Duke or a Florida State or Miami leave the ACC, that the ACC doesn't come calling on East Carolina. Yeah. I don't think it's that far fetched. And I don't think NC State's getting a call from the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10. I don't think they're getting a call. And if they got a call from the Big 12, they better hang up the phone because I really don't think it matters at that point.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and this may be where it's a little less realistic. Give me West Virginia.
I have West Virginia on mine. Yeah, I got WVU.
Yeah. Okay. So who's your next?
Marshall.
Yeah, I got Marshall.
Because I'm gonna have WV, I gotta have Marshall too in there.
Right. Yeah, you got to. And honestly, like you could consider just adding Pitt in there as well.
I didn't think about Pitt. That's good.
I'm not gonna add Pitt though. Who I am gonna add, I guess I can't really say like if EC is gonna be in a conference with NC State, it's gonna be because of UNC being gone and then adding UNC into my conference. I'm gonna go Liberty.
Ooh. Okay. I like the Liberty pickup. I didn't think about Liberty. Who am I next? Are we even keeping numbers right now? We were on 5 or 6 or something like that?
I've got 6.
Okay, so this would be my 6th pick. I told you mine's not regional, it's national. So I'm going San Diego State.
Imagine that flight. Like you play
Regis are dead. Regis are dead.
Yeah, you play San Diego State at 10 o'clock Eastern time. You lose on a last-second field goal, and you have to get on a 4-hour flight back to Greenville, North Carolina, flying into. You're probably flying into RDU at that point, but
they do it in the National Football League. They'll be like,
yeah, but those planes are a little bit different than some of the planes these guys are going on.
These guys are millionaires, so
yeah, like those guys are getting cryogenic or they're getting that cool therapy on the plane and shit. These guys are lucky to get 2 boxes of Chick-fil-A instead of 1 when they leave a game.
I'm just thinking about how cool it would be to be in a conference with San Diego State. I just think that would be cool. So,
all right, I'm gonna take SMU.
That's also one I had SMU.
Okay.
So that was
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7.
Okay.
I need 2 more.
Yep.
There's one I really want, but it's not realistic at all. Like I would love to have South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. It's never gonna happen. But yeah.
It's never gonna happen, but like I would love to be in a conference with South Carolina. I think that's just a great matchup. Give me, since I'm trying to stay as regional as possible. Yeah, I just went off the board and got SMU. Maybe I'm gonna take James Madison. Got that rivalry with Liberty.
Madison. I was thinking James Madison. I ain't put him on my list, but I was thinking JMU. That's actually very realistic. That could actually happen.
All right. Go.
What am I on? Number 9?
No, you should be on number 8. I don't know.
Number 8, Memphis. Yeah, I got Memphis down here. I think staying in the conference with Memphis is good because Memphis is going to work their way back up. They're going to be a good football program. So
I'm on the fence about it, but yes, I'm also going to take Memphis. I think that there's a little rivalry building there with ECU and Memphis. 2 seasons back to back going to overtime. ECU beats them both times. Last year, 4 overtimes. I mean, I think that a case could be made. North Carolina, I mean, you got the very east part of North Carolina, and you got the very west part of Tennessee. I mean, I'll take Memphis, and I think that could be a good rivalry. Another team that I would possibly consider. Can I get rid of one? Can I just get rid of one?
Sure.
I'm gonna get rid of. You know who I'm gonna get rid of? I'm gonna get rid of. I'm gonna get rid of Coastal. Okay.
Coastal? That's a good one. I like Coastal.
I'm gonna get rid of Coastal, and I'm gonna replace them. And I'm thinking of rivalry day. Maybe I should keep Coastal and get rid of SMU. But I'm thinking getting rid of Coastal, bringing in UAB, who can be a rival with SMU, and they already have what's their Battle of the Bones with Memphis?
Yeah.
Is that them?
I think so.
That's kind of where I'm at. So UAB or Coastal, those two are interchangeable.
Okay.
One of those two. I know it's kind of the cheap way out. Your last one, and then I'll read off chances.
I'm on 9 or 10.
This is your last one. This is 9. We're
Damn, I feel like I gotta put a team from Texas in there, but I also had another one on my list too. Yeah, I'm gonna go UTSA.
okay.
UTSA. I gotta have one school from Texas in there.
That honestly, yeah, like fuck it. SMU's out. UTSA in.
Like it. My other one was actually South Florida, because South Florida pisses me off. They're in a great market. They're in Tampa. If they can ever figure it out, they can be a great program.
All right, how about this? I mean, who wants a 10-team conference? Let's just do 12 teams. We got a 12-team conference.
I'm putting South Florida in there for mine.
All right, so South Florida's in for yours. I'm going to take one of chances. Virginia Tech.
Yeah. That's another one I was thinking of. I just don't think it's realistic because I don't think VTech would ever join in the conference with us.
But once again, if all hell breaks loose in the ACC, there you go.
True.
Virginia Tech's not going anywhere. All right. NC State, App, West Virginia, Marshall, Liberty, UTSA, JMU, Memphis, UAB, Coastal, and Virginia Tech. Chances: State, UNC, Marshall, Virginia Tech, UTSA, ECU, Memphis, Tulane, App, Coastal, SMU, and Southern Miss. Artie, do you remember yours?
Oh, God. I had SMU, Tulane, Coastal, West Virginia, Marshall, App, ECU, San Diego State. Who else did I have? South Florida. And that's all I remember.
All right. And then I think that's it. You got to walk the plank. I hear Ficklin crying outside my office.
Nah, I got to walk the plank. We've actually gone longer than I thought we were going to go. So
yes, yeah, it's getting late. I got 2.
Well, hold on. I will say the All-Star game sucked last night, but that's my only.
The All-Star game and Home Run Derby are atrocious. I didn't watch either of them.
Sucked.
I didn't even realize the Home Run Derby was on.
Well, it was on a Monday and Tuesday night. Who does that? It's awful.
And the Home Run Derby needs to go back to being 10 outs. Let us watch the balls fly out of the stadium. No, none of this clock thing. I hate it. Also, did you see the kid get nailed in the face?
No, I did not. I should be laughing, but no, I didn't see that.
You know how they have the kids in the outfield shagging fly balls? I think Vlad Guerrero hit one and it hit the kid in the face. He just
was it like a streamline or was it like lofted up?
No, it was pretty high up there.
Oh, well, then that's the kid's fault.
Yeah, like, dude, get your glove up.
Yeah, get your hands up. Come on. Slow feet don't eat. Come on, baby.
That's an E7 right there. All right. My other one, the whole Northwestern debacle.
Oh, yeah.
Pat Fitzgerald and hazing allegations and all of that. Yeah. All of that, I'm not going to get into it. But lastly, the last one, I'm gonna do chances for him since he's not here anymore. The tickets to the App State game being $130.
We know why they did it. We know why they did it.
Super Bowl.
We know why they did it.
They play UNC and the tickets are $65. Play us and it's $130.
130.
130. Come on now.
They don't want us in Boone, bro. They know we're gonna take over that fucking city. They don't want us there.
We're gonna take over Boone. We're gonna burn the damn thing to the ground, and then we're gonna walk into your high school football stadium and take that thing over too. All right. So I'm sorry. Don't get your panties twisted. Smoke a little more weed and then come to the game. All right. You're gonna walk the damn plank, and we're gonna beat your ass. There we go.
Now, granted, that's a hell of a drive from Greenville to Boone, North Carolina. That is an awful drive, but we would still take over.
What is it? 5 hours?
I mean, it's got to be between 5 and 6 hours. Absolutely, it's got. I mean, you're talking about East Coast near the beach, all the way to the mountains of North Carolina. It's a hell of a drive.
Let's see.
Now we got a lot of Pirate fans in between, so. But we know why they did it. They don't want us taking over their little small ass mountain town.
Artie, it's not as bad as you would think.
Was it 4.5?
It's 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh, it's not okay. I thought it was much worse. I thought it was like between 5 and 6 hours.
No, it's only
not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I'm not going to complain about that. All right. Anything else? Otherwise, let's get to the announcements. Make sure you subscribe to the Boneyard Podcast on YouTube, where we'll be posting this episode along with future episodes and all other content that we're doing. Also, stay tuned for a major announcement. We're going to drop an announcement. We haven't decided on a day yet. We're going to drop one in the coming weeks. It'll be probably by the end of the month. We've got a big announcement coming. Big for the brand. Big for the brand, and everybody knows we're big on the Boneyard brand, and yeah, big announcement coming. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm excited about it. Artie, I don't know if I've been this excited about an announcement ever, and I'm excited about this one.
Hey, look, just to see how far we've come to now, love it. Love it. That's all I'm gonna say. I love to see the growth.
God, I want to say it so badly, but we're gonna keep it a secret. We're gonna keep a secret. All right, our mouth is shut, lips are zipped, and we're gonna call it a night. Already say the damn thing.
Hey, till next time, Pirate Nation. We love you. Wash your hands, wash your butt, and RIP Chance and his internet, but we'll have him back next time we see you guys. Deuce.
Peace.